Today's story is about a man who fell off of a boat, and his story it's amazing, as they all are, right? But he says the only thing he can conclude is that a pair of heavenly hands pulled him from the ocean. April of 1993, when two men by the name of Don Spann and John Thompson, they took out Don's 46-foot boat, and they were just going on a routine 2-day cruise type trip that they did all the time. They were headed towards Fort Lauderdale, Florida. On this day, they had just left the harbor of Charleston, South Carolina, so they were getting their trip underway. The weather was great. But once day 2 came, the clouds began to roll in, and the storms looked like they were coming. He said it was the loneliest moment that he had ever felt in his life. Don held on to hope, though. He was hopeful that surely John's going to notice I'm gone, turn the boat back around, and all will be well. But 10 minutes goes by, 10 or 15, and Don doesn't see the boat returning. And he wondered, as he just sloshed around and treaded water in the sea, he was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get out of this predicament? He knew that he had to continually move and tread water, 1, to stay above it. 2, hypothermia was a real thing. And the temperatures, they were dropping. So many thoughts ran through Don's mind. Things such as, what if a shark comes? Oh my gosh, am I going to drown? And in those moments, as he was thinking that, he also thought of his family and how devastated that they would be once they learned what happened. Also, in regards to John, who was driving the boat, you got to remember he was at the front, so he's facing frontwards. He still has no idea that Don fell over and is missing. Soon thereafter, that Don started to think of the events of that day, and it all started coming back to him, and it was just shocking. He eventually had that conversation with John because he wanted to ask him, who did you find to help pull me up onto the boat that day? Well, John just kind of looked at him, kind of like just this perplexed, confused look on his face. Because Don's going into the story of, yeah, John, how you jumped into the water. And Don tells him, whoa, I never jumped into the water that day. And he tells John says, I only pulled you from the swim platform. That's the only time I pulled you onto the boat. I never jumped in, and I never pulled you anywhere else. And he assures Don that, yeah, I was alone.